All right, so today I wanted to talk about two crypto stories that I came across recently, or two pieces of news. And the first one is from Yahoo here saying Elon Musk is losing his power over the crypto community after his latest tweets failed to boost Dogecoin or Bitcoin. Um, and again, this is good news, right? This is really good news for the simple reason being that it is nice that Elon Musk helped raise the price of Bitcoin, but on the flip side, it's also really terrible in that number one, he has so much influence over the price or the prices of cryptos, and number two, the fact that he, for whatever reason, likes pumping Dogecoin, which again, a lot of people say that oh, it's a joke, but he's clearly alluded to the fact that it could be used as a legitimate currency, which is completely asinine, right? So this is good news, right? In that, I mean, in the short run, maybe not necessarily, but in the long run, it's good news because we don't want any one individual to be so controlling of the price of this kind of stuff, no matter who they are, right? Even if it's Michael Saylor or someone like that, right? We don't want anyone. We want it to be as decentralized as possible because in the long run, that's going to be the best for it, right? And the other problem with again people like Elon Musk is that at the end of the day, they're not trustworthy, right? They're just flat out not trustworthy. I don't know any other way of putting it. So this is very good news in the long run. And not to mention, too, I think people like Elon Musk have proven themselves to be either ignorant or at the even quite possibly don't have very good intentions, and that his reason for not allowing Bitcoin to be accepted anymore and being not liking it is retarded. It makes no sense. And that, again, the excuse was, oh, the whole Bitcoin's bad for the environment. Again, that's been debunked endlessly. And that, number one, Bitcoin doesn't use that much energy. Again, like the comparisons have been made. They always compare it to things to make it look so bad, but if you compare it to things like Christmas lights, for example, well, Bitcoin actually uses less energy than Christmas lights do. And not to mention, over half of Bitcoin mining is already done using renewable energy, right? And that's something that isn't talked about for some reason. Like, way more Bitcoin mining is done using renewable energy than people are using to charge their Teslas. The vast majority of people charging their Teslas are still using not renewable energy, right? So that's it's just a complete massive double standard that makes no sense. And the reality behind it, I think, is that this was just a branding, thing for Elon Musk. And at the end of the day, I don't think these people care. I don't think he really cares about the environment. What his exact intentions are, I don't know. But given his reason for not accepting Bitcoin anymore being complete BS, I don't trust anything he says anymore, and I don't know why anyone else would. Not that he's the worst guy in the world necessarily, but he shouldn't be trusted going forward. And the other big story here: Paraguayan lawmakers to present Bitcoin bill on July 14th. So that's going to be coming up really soon. It may already have happened by the time people see this. We'll see. But again, this is really good news, and that we may have a second country that now has Bitcoin as legal tender. And this is the other thing too that you know all the people are people. There's a lot of people out there that are bearish on crypto right now, and it really makes no sense because if we'd told someone even as recently as 3 or 4 months ago, right at the peaks, like if you'd have said, yeah, 3 months from now we're going to have multiple countries that are accepting it as legal tender, we're going to have multiple billionaires coming out in support of it, we're going to have more institutional adoption, like all of this stuff that's gone on, like people would have said, yeah, are you more bullish on it now, or if you heard this stuff? And everybody would have said if they heard that stuff. And the price isn't reflecting it, which at the end of the day doesn't really matter all that much, right? The price of an asset at any given point in time isn't what you should be concerned about, right? Because if you think that something's worth $100,000, again, I brought this up time and time again. If you think that Bitcoin's worth $100,000 and you can buy it for 34, 35, 40,000, that is a steal of a deal. And let's just say that you thought it was worth $100,000 when it was $60,000 or $70,000, and you can get it for 40 or 34, 35, whatever it is, you should be even more bullish. So people that are that were buying Bitcoin at 60, 65,000, and they're not every bit as bullish, if not more bullish right now, they're proving that they're a rookie. They're a complete rookie on this stuff. They don't really know what they're talking about. They didn't do their research, all this kind of stuff. Because by all means, if that's what you think, you shouldn't be in the space in the first place, because you should be doing your own research into this kind of stuff. And this is something, like I said, that every expert investor knows, is that, again, like I said, if something's worth $100,000 and you're buying it for 60 and it goes down to 40, you should be even more bullish on it than when you were buying it wherever it was before. And this is exactly what has happened with basically every single major cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, is that the prices came way down. But if you look at the actual underlying fundamentals, well, in my opinion, like I say, because you got to do your own research, like don't take anyone's word for anything. Like I say, do your own research. But in my opinion, you should be even more bullish on it than you were at when it was 60, 65,000 US, 80,000 Canadian. So, and not to mention, dude, this stuff's going to continue too. Like people keep talking about, oh, well, this place is going to ban it, this place is going to, but it doesn't really matter, right? People say, oh, China banned it. Well, and it's the craziest thing too. These are the same people that complain about the whole energy use thing, but yet on the flip side, it's like China banning it is a good thing. Then you would think, right? So at the end of the day, then this is the problem too. I have with these people is that their arguments really don't make sense, right? That people actually haven't looked into this kind of stuff. I find the people that are, again, in my opinion, the people that are the most bearish on cryptos are people that they don't really know a whole lot about it, and or their excuses for not getting into it are stupid, like, oh, it's volatile or something. Like, who cares if it's volatile, right? Or it's like, oh, the government's going to ban it. Well, again, like if the government bans it, then you would be really bullish on it, because they're not going to ban something that isn't a legitimate threat to the existing dollar and banking system. So none of the excuses I've heard to be bearish on it are legitimate in my opinion. And then you got the people like Peter Schiff and stuff that just have such an obvious incentive to lie, for lack of a better way of putting it, that like you can't take these people seriously, right? And again, like it's the same thing too. Like a lot of these people have a very clear incentive not to recommend it too. Like it's like, yeah, if you have a massive amount of your net worth tied up in gold, or your business is selling people gold, well, of course you're not going to want people to buy crypto. Like it's so obvious, it's not even funny. And this is the other thing too. You know whether people are sane and legitimate or not. Is that if you want to be bearish on this stuff, okay, by all means, but you must have a hypothesis to where you could be proven wrong. And the fact that these guys never bring this stuff up, it's like, I'm bearish, but here's what I would need to see to admit I'm wrong. The fact they never bring that up, in my opinion, just goes to show that they shouldn't be taken seriously. Because if they actually were genuine and honest, they would have a way that their hypothesis can be falsified, right? And again, the fact they never bring that up is just, in my opinion, you shouldn't take them seriously. But anyway, just wanted to bring those two things up because I think it's really important. Good news going forward. So anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up today. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you check out those links below. Follow me on those other platforms. Again, if you want to donate, you could do that as well. I would very much appreciate whatever support I can get. But like I say, check out those links and stay tuned for more.